Hi everybody, it's Sally from Sally Stampers. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm bringing you my Tealight Window Box. I couldn't think of what else to call it, so I literally went with what it was, Tealight Window Box. Simple as that. It is actually a design that I did see on Pinterest, and I thought to myself, I'm going to have a go at doing that because I think that will look lovely with our hometown greetings edgelets. And sure enough, yep, I made it up and I'm actually quite pleased with it. I did alter the dimensions of the box because I didn't want one quite the size that the lady had done. And I do apologise because I don't remember who it was. But as you can see, there's just an electric tea light in there, glittering away, which I think is really cute. And it is just simply a box that you open up with the tea light inside. And I'm going to switch this one off just to save the battery, just while I show you how to make it. So this one is Cherry Cobbler. I've used basic grey and the Hearth and Home framelets for the window, and as I said, hometown greeting edgelets, Whisper White for the little houses, and then vellum just for the frosting on the window. So I'm excuse me. So I'm going with Old Olive this time, and the 12 by 12 that I've used, obviously the Cherry Cobbler is oh, why is my focus playing up? The Cherry Cobbler is a dedicated 12 by 12 pack that you can get in the Autumn Winter catalogue, and along with the Old Olive and Craft cardstock that is the Merry Little Christmas cardstock pack. So I've gone with the Old Olive this time, and this is 10.5 by 8.5 inches. And then I'm going to grab my scoreboard, and I'm going to have the 10.5 across the top, and I need to score at 3 inches, 4 3/4 inches, 7 3/4 inches, and 9.5. Excuse me. I'm going to rotate and score at 1 3/4, 5 3/4, and 7.5 inches. So that's that bit done. Excuse the clattering. I have had to move craft rooms again, and unfortunately everything now is a little bit more cramped again, so it's now back to everything going in the smallest gap possible. So everything just clatters and bangs now whenever I have to get anything. But never mind. Excuse me. So, like I said, the Merry Little Christmas, we've not got much longer now. We're in November. We've only got 2 more months, and then the beautiful Christmas catalogue will be gone, and that also means that that certain person will be coming very soon too. I know that it's only a week, let me think, no sorry, 2 weeks till my son's birthday, and that is when I know there is 6 weeks left to Christmas. So be prepared guys, it's not long now, it's only 8 weeks. That is just crazy. Okay, so we've got our box now scored, folded, burnished, and before I start cutting tabs and things, I want to cut the window. The reason I'm doing it now is because it's easier to cut when these are all still in one piece. When you've got flaps and bits all over the place, you're messing about and trying to get it down. So I've just decided that I'm going to do it on this whilst it's still in one piece, and it needs to go on this piece, because if you imagine, this is going to be your join, your seam, which will go round and adhere to the back there. So you're going to have your seam there, so you want this as your front. So I'm going to turn it over, so this is where we want it. Now, it's not technical how I marked my square. I simply put my window in, I got my pencil and marked the 4 corners, just like that. I then grabbed my ruler or straight edge, whatever you've got to hand, and joined them up, just because that made my square easier. And I did measure that ideally your aperture, your hole for your window, needs to be 2 1/8 by 2 5/8. So 2 5/8 is there. And as you can see, it's just slightly bigger. So all I'm going to do is just very simply put an extra mark. And I'm going to do the same up this end. So 2 5/8 is there. So I'm just eyeballing it to make sure it's relatively equal and marking it. So the 2 1/8 is there. And I'm just going to line it up with those marks. And again at the bottom, 2 1/8, and then just line these up. It's not a perfect science, because you can see it's slightly fatter that side than that one, but it will help me for when I come to cut it. Now, because it's an oblong, you could do a square, but I found that when I used my layering squares, it came too wide here, because obviously it's an oblong, not a square, and it was too wide here, and I didn't quite like it, so I thought, no, I'm just going to cut it. So I'm just going to use my trimmer. And this is what I mean about keeping it as one piece, otherwise you've got flaps and you're fighting and it's a nightmare. So butt it up, bring it down a touch, butt it up to your bar here so that you know it's straight. And then all you need to do is just simply line up, and I'll just zoom in for you, line up your pencil line. So if you can see, it's lined up in the centre. Lift the bar, because if you do drag your blade up, you're going to cut across the bottom. So make sure it's butted up, drag your blade, lift your bar and put your blade anywhere where you want it on that line. And then this little arrow here will simply take you to your pencil line. So literally just come down, up the other way, lift up. Okay, so that's not straight because I've obviously not drawn my line straight, but you know what, that doesn't matter because I know this is now straight, so that's the important thing. So I've got that line to work from, tuck this under and work the same again on all 4 sides. And as long as you've got your square to be around about big enough, and it's just slightly bigger than the inside one, then it should work fine. So move your blade out of the way while you line it up, and then just simply pop it on, and there it is, your aperture cut out. So let me zoom back out again now so you can see what I'm doing. And there it is, my square cut out. So again, more clattering I'm afraid, otherwise I'll knock it over and then it will keep clattering. So if you get your window now and place it over your square, perfect. And then you just flip it over, and again you can see it's just the right size. So before we start any of that business, let's get down to cutting. So you've got one horizontal section at the bottom and 2 at the top, so you know which is top and bottom. So with your bottom, we're simply, not your bottom, the bottom of your box, we're simply going to cut down these bits. And then this end one, we're going to cut away altogether and cut a wedge into the side. Likewise on this side, cut down all of those 2 and the wedge is left. So there's your bottom bit with your flaps. So spin it round completely, and I'm going to cut straight down these ones. That was a bit too far. I'm going to cut away that side, and then just 2 just very slight wedges from here, because these are my shoulders as I call them, and also 2 little wedges at the top there. So this side needs to be cut away completely. And you could always use this piece here as a little gift tag because it's quite a nice size, that square, or oblong rather. You could rectangle. I'll get there in a minute. You could use that as a tag on the box because it is a nice size. And it will save wasting it as well, if you're going to give it as a gift, of course. And then I'm just going to cut 2 more wedges off there. Just neaten that up there. Okay, so that is how your box should look. I'm just going to have a slurp of tea, I do apologise. So there is your box as it should look. So now we just need to make the front up and then fasten it up. So, Hearth and Home framelets. It's simply a window and a window box, or hearth for a fire, whichever you make. So I've just used that window framelit and my Big Shot and, as I said, basic grey to cut my window out. I've got a sheet of vellum that is 2.5 by 3 inches, and that will fit just nicely inside your window. And I've done all this because I knew it would take me forever anyway, so I thought I'll just die cut all these bits quickly and then they're done. Hometown Greeting edgelets. These are fabulous little houses, and I've just used the smallest one. So you've got quite big houses on this one, the church or chapel on this one, and then I've got the small one with the snowman. That's the one I've used for this. I'll put those away later, save me fiddling now. And all I've simply done with this one is trimmed it. So I wanted, I'm trying to remember now, the house and the trees. So I'm just going to cut at the side of the snowman there, just because I want that little bit extra. And then I'm just going to cut up the side of the house. So that's that one. And then on mine, because it is quite a narrow gap really, I've added the thinner house. So the one with the snowman. And again, I've just simply trimmed up either side and just left with one small house. So once you've done those and you've obviously popped all the little bits out, we then can look at adhering it in place. Now, I found the best way to do this for me was to get my silicone mat out, grab some tear and tape, and simply put tear and tape across the bottom, because snail was too wide and would have gone over the edge and looked a mess. Glue dots were too thick and bulky. You could use wet glue. In fact, if I remember correctly, I used my Tombow for this one, and I just put a thin smidge. In fact, I'm going to use Tombow on this one now I think about it, because it gives you that wiggle room to, and you only need a little bit, it gives you that wiggle room to pop your pieces in place. That's that side. So just make sure that you're lining up the edge of your house. This one's slightly overlapping the edge, but that's fine because I want to fit this one in. And then just flip it over, and then as you can see, this one just needs a little slight adjustment. There we go. And there's a little bit of glue that's just seeped through there that I'm just going to wipe away. And that's that bit done. And then I'm going to grab my glue dots because I want to adhere my vellum. And I'm simply going to, oops, not going to stick it to my finger. And I'm telling you a fib, I want to stick it to the 4 corners of the vellum. So just popping a glue dot on each of the 4 corners, but I will want 2 more that I am going to put on my window frame, just to put here, and it just holds the middle part in place. And then you just simply pop your vellum over your window. I've got that glue dot stuck to my nail. I just need to move this one actually, because get off, stuck to me now. I just noticed that that glue dot up here was just too close and it was just showing through the window frame, so I just had to move that one. So that's that bit done, and now we need to stick it onto our box, and this is where the tear and tape comes in. So I've simply added a strip across the top, and obviously that's quite a wide band there, so you don't need to worry too much. Another strip across the bottom, and you then need a thin bit along the sides here. Now again, this is where I've come back in with my silicone mat, and I actually overlapped to the end, over the edge rather. I went over the edge just because obviously it's a little wider than the window frame and I don't want it showing through on the vellum. So that's that bit. So when you come to take this one off, or the sides off, what I did was peeled it off and then I just folded it over. So it's actually almost like a double thickness, and then you don't get it showing across the edge there. And the same on this side. And again, just fold that edge in. And obviously because it's double-sided, it just sticks to itself anyway. And just tuck it in. And then you just need to take the top and bottom off. This is always the fiddly bit, isn't it? There we go. When I was doing my original box, it took me forever to get this off, and I thought, oh my goodness, I hope I don't do this when I'm doing the tutorial, otherwise you'll switch me off because you'll be bored. Right, so that's all of that done, and now all I need to do, and I found the best way of doing this was to actually do it back to front. So hold your box so that it's sturdy, and then just simply line it up and pop it on. And then I generally grab my bone folder, whoops, and just give it all a press, just to make sure it's all stuck. And then when you flip it over, there's your cute little window. So all we need to do now is make up our box. So some fuse on your tab here that you are simply going to fold over and fold that on. It's coming together. So the base, this is our front, so this is the last piece we put in. So I tuck those two in, tuck that one in, flip it over and pop some fuse on here. And then when you put this together, just make sure your box hasn't lost its shape and it stays square. So pop that on, bone folder inside, just to get that adhesive sticking. And you then need to put your tea light inside. Oh, take that safety thing off, that might help. There we go. So pop my tea light inside. You can add Velcro or a magnet stuck to the bottom and the bottom of the box to hold it in place if you want, but it's entirely up to you. So there's my tea light and box, and just to add something to the top, I thought I'd have a go, and this probably will go wrong, but I thought I'd have a go with some of the Old Olive sheer ribbon and some of the Whisper White that I'm nearly out of. And shush! My husband has a motorbike and the dogs think that because the motorbike's gone past my husband's home. Honestly. So I was going to use both ribbons to make a bow because I wanted to try and incorporate the green and the white. They will stop in a minute. Yes, as I was saying, for I was rudely deafened by the dogs, my husband has a motorbike, and obviously whenever they hear a motorbike they generally think it's him coming home, even when it's not. Crazy dogs. So I quite like that actually. I think that looks quite pretty, so I'm just going to trim the green one, the Old Olive, so that it's the same length, and then I'm just going to add a glue dot to the top. And this is, I think this would be an ideal present for somebody that doesn't have a lot of room at Christmas, you know, has a small apartment, or maybe in a bedsit, or a very small flat, maybe somebody who's in a home, a care home or a nursing home, that would just like some small, nice, pretty decoration. And I actually think these are quite cute. I'm just going to pop this one back on. And I just think these would look lovely, or even somebody that maybe is in hospital over Christmas. You know, you can't have plants and they get so many chocolates, but I think this would be really nice on somebody's table or bedside, just to let them know that even though they're, you know, at a hospital or whatever, they still thought about. And like I said, I think these are really quite cute. I might make a few of these up to decorate my house. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial, guys. Sorry for a lot of flummoxing. Obviously you're, you know what I'm like by now. All the details will be on my blog, and the links for all of that is below, along with all the products that I've used. It's just in the description. There's a little black arrow down there that you click on and it'll open everything up. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, guys, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye!